right, it's time for your business news. Rafua Mad Money Matzena is in the building.
Morning, Rupio. How are you doing?
I'm glad it's Friday.
It's Friday.
I'm happy it's Friday.
Yeah.
Another short week coming up, though. I wonder what it means money-wise.
Well, it means less trading, a little bit more reflection on what's happening in the world, but also just making sure that you're safe as a consumer and not putting yourself in compromising positions, which is the story that we focus on.
So don't
here.
use your Freedom Day for freedom to choose the wrong stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Be wise.
It's
right?
a good one for the tourism industry, though.
Yeah.
These 3 weeks.
That's true. It's been very good
But
for
you
it.
and I don't own a B&B. So.
No.
Hey, let's buy one. Lorena will also come in. Chip in.
Well, for those of us who don't own a B&Bs and are looking for alternative ways to have some money at this Freedom Month, and for many consumers, it's true that freedom is tied to fair financial treatment. The National Financial Ombud continues to receive complaints of maladministration in the credit sector and even questionable interest charges. Among the most pressing concerns is the ongoing issue of reckless lending. Joining us live to speak on this is the Ombud's Credit Division lead, Howard Gabriels. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Howard. Now, what are some of the most common complaints that the NFO receives regarding the credit sector?
We deal with a broad range of complaints. Some complaints are probably quite simple if you think about it, where consumers come to us because they're unable to obtain a paid-up letter, and not getting a paid-up letter mean that the credit records cannot be repaired, to more serious complaints where consumers claim that they've been a victim of reckless lending. And in reckless lending, in essence, what it means is that the credit provider did not do a proper affordability assessment as is required by the National Credit Act and its regulations.
So what are some of the key tips then would you give to consumers who want to avoid falling into debt traps and maintain financial stability?
I think the first thing that as we celebrate Freedom Day and celebrate the important rights culture that has been built since 1994, that we impress on consumers that there's also a responsibility that comes with these rights on each consumer. So in order to build a sustainable, healthy financial environment for each family and for each individual, it is really critical that consumers firstly know what they're doing. They need to look at their credit profile. You can get your credit profile from the bureaus at least once a year, free of charge. They then need to plan, and by that we effectively mean that you need to draw up a budget which allows you to actually work out exactly what it is that you're spending your money on. And then I think the big part is that too many consumers are over indebted. In other words, they cannot pay all of their bills in 1 month. And the big challenge is going to be, how do I get out of debt? Our advice normally to consumers is that in order to get out of debt, start paying off the smallest debt and then progressively move to the bigger debts, so that in the end one is left with those debts that are really big, like your house or your car. With that then comes the ability to save, and that ability to save is where we begin to build our financial wellness and financial freedom.
I mean, very briefly and finally, if you could, what recourse is there for a consumer who's been subjected to excessive interest rates on a particular form of credit?
So the answer is that you can contact the NFO. The NFO deals with complaints against credit providers, the banks, the insurers, and the best way to contact us to lodge a complaint is by coming to our website, which is nfosa.co.za, or through our call center, which is 0860 800 900, and you would be able to log a complaint with us, and our team will investigate that complaint for you. And the most important part is that the service of the NFO is free of charge to the consumer.
Thank you very much. The Ombud's Credit Division lead, Howard Gabriels, joining us this morning. Let's take a look now at the market. Interestingly, the price of gold has come down from those record highs, and that's because